I think I'm a little bit close to the camera. What do you guys think? Is this too close? You can see too much of my face right now. So in the last episode of Basic, Intermediate and Expert tier builds, we did this Stranger Things like Nether portal. And in the comments of that video, I had a suggestion to do a Conduit design of Basic, Intermediate level and then Expert level. So what we're going to do is we're going to fly over from where the Nether portal is. We're going to fly past where the treehouse is as well. And we're going to make our way over to this coral reef here. It's just by the treehouse in the ocean. The starter house is over there. So not only do we have a coral reef, we've also got this pretty neat shipwreck as well. But today we're not going to be looking at that. We are going to be looking at the coral reef because this is where we're going to build the conduits. And so obviously we're going to start these the same way that we always do. We're going to start with the basic tier and then we're going to go from the basic tier to the intermediate level and then the expert level. But before we do get into that, I wanted to bring up another side note. Last time I brought this up at the beginning of my video as well. It seems like the majority of you that are getting this video are probably in your recommended section or on your home tab. And so people are watching it, but you're not subscribing. So once again, if you guys enjoy my face and watching me build stuff, then feel free to subscribe. You can unsubscribe at any point. I'm not holding it against you. If it's not your kind of content, then please do. But if you enjoy it, then why not stick around and subscribe while you're at it? Of course, I'm not going to make you wait any longer. So let's see what we can do with the basic tier, shall we? Right. So this is what we came up with for the basic tier design. So straight off the bat, there's not really a lot going on. It's quite simple, and it's basically just like a little shrine to house the conduit. Also, because the prismarine doesn't connect up to the top and whatnot, it's not got all of the amount of blocks surrounding it, so it's not as powerful as it can be. But we are starting with the basic tier, so I thought it wouldn't matter as much. You're probably going to start with something simple like this, and then you can expand on it further. But for what it is, I think it's pretty neat. So what do we have going on here? I mean, as you can see, we've got dark prismarine on the floor. You've got a sea lantern there. The conduit is just kind of sitting, bobbing away in the middle. Got this arch over top, and we've made it look really overgrown as well with adding a lot of seaweed and coral, and it also blends in with the environment, obviously. I've included these magma blocks on each corner just to give more bubbles and more particle effects, because you can never have too many particle effects. Actually, that's a lie, you definitely can. But I think adding bubbles, I mean, it fits the aesthetic, the underwater vibe and whatnot, and I think it looks pretty cool, so it's not too bad. I've also included these cyan stained glass panes on the middle as well to kind of look like it's like holding the conduit or something. I don't know. It kind of makes it look like it's getting powered, I guess. I don't know. Either way, I thought it came out looking pretty decent. It's simple, but it's pretty slick, you know. It blends in and fits the environment quite well. Now that we've done this, we're going to take the basic tier and we're going to upgrade it to the intermediate tier. So this is probably something you'd want to do if you've got a bit more prismarine laying around, or you want to make something a little bit more unique rather than just making like a shrine like I've done here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get into it now, and I'll see you on the other side. Right, so we've taken the basic tier and we've kind of, well, deleted it all and made the intermediate tier. And if you can't tell what it is, then, well, bollocks. I hope that you can tell what it is, but if you can't, then, well, it's a skull. I'm sure that you guys were able to figure that out, but yeah, I thought I'd let you in on it anyway. So yeah, we've made a prismarine skull, and I think it looks, honestly, pretty decent. For the size that it is, it's quite a small skull. Like, if you want to get a lot of detail in skulls when you're building in blocks, there's only so much that you can do. But for what it is, I think it's pretty good. We've kind of got all the right, like, forms there as well. It's not, like, completely incorrect. We've even got this divot in where the temple is, and where the jaw goes in, it kind of connects in. We use these walls, which looks pretty cool. Honestly, I'm happy with how it turned out. I spent a little while on it. I think I spent like half an hour making this or around that. But yeah, I mean, honestly, it looks decent for what it is. And then again, I've done the same thing. I kind of built up sand and then I just made it look really overgrown. Added in a bunch of seaweed and whatnot just to kind of match the environment. Added some coral and whatnot onto the actual skull itself as well to make it look like it's kind of like it's been growing there for quite a while. Last minute, I also included these sea pickles as the eyes. They weren't there previously and you just had the conduit in the actual skull, but I felt like it needed something to, one, illuminate it a little bit more, and two, sea pickles. So why not? I seem to have this addiction and fascination with sea pickles. Anyway, I mean, there's not really a lot I can talk about. It's just a case of showing it off again, honestly. I tried to keep the basic forms there just so that it has an overall shape, like it looks like a skull. That was the main thing that I wanted to achieve. Using these prismarine walls helped a lot with that as well. So we've got one here which makes the nose. It even makes like the correct shape of the nose, which is really nice. We use them for the teeth and again connected them up with the jaw. I've got these two at the back just to fill it out to make it look more like a sphere because well, it's not really, is it? I'm happy with how it looks, to be honest though. Considering we had to work with such a small amount of space, because this is such shallow waters, this is only like 3 or 4 more blocks we can go up until we reach the surface. It's really not that deep. It's very shallow water. So for what it is, I think it looks decent. This seaweed on top here looks like eyebrows or something. It looks very... His eyebrows are wiggling away. Alright, so now that we've done this, I think it's time that we upgrade it to the expert tier. Now, I have an idea of what I'm going to do for this, but because the water is so shallow, I can't do it here. So what I'm planning on doing is raising up the land. I'm going to make a little island here, I think. So I'm going to raise the ground up, and then I'm going to build something on that island. And obviously, because it's above the ocean, I'm going to have to surround it in water somehow and encase it in the build. I'm sure you'll see how I do that, though. I'll go over it at the end, but yeah, let's get into it. I'm actually so happy with how this came out. I wasn't expecting it to look this good. It looks really decent. So obviously, if you can't tell what it is, it's Neptune. I was thinking what to do with the conduit for the expert tier because I was like, it's got to be something noticeable and it's got to be something that kind of fits the theme because like the conduit makes you swim faster and whatnot, and it's like, it's all ocean based, you know? So I knew that I had to do something along these kind of lines. This was the most achievable thing that I thought I could do anyway. Okay, so let's have a look around Neptune. First of all, I just want to mention, look at how ripped he is. My boy is hench. Big old fish boy here. So, yes, first of all, let's have a look. I did this very last minute, actually. It was completely secluded by the prismarine, but at the very end, I wanted to adjust it and make it visible from the outside as well. So what I decided to do was I moved the conduit over by 1 block, so it's more in this side of the chest, and it's acting like Neptune's heart. It kind of makes perfect sense, honestly. Like Neptune's heart is the conduit, like, and that's what makes you swim faster in the ocean. That's where you get the powers and whatnot. It was very last second adding that in, but I thought that was such a cool idea, like just to top off the build, you know? So what else do we have going on here? Obviously, we've got his trident as well, and I mean, it looks pretty cool. There's only so much that I could have really done, to be honest, because I wanted to make it look like a trident, but having it just do the fences all the way down, it didn't look right. It looked too tiny in his hand. So I had to make it a little bit thicker where he's grabbing onto. Basically, you just imagine it's like a grip, you know, that you're gripping onto the trident with. So I spent quite a while working on his face because I wanted to get the right shape, proportion for it for the rest of his body. I didn't want it to look massive in comparison. So I eventually got the right shape and kind of proportions for his head, and I think it looks pretty good. We got his little nose here. We got this beautiful, magnificent beard and these amazing golden locks here. We got his little ears poking out. I used sea lanterns for his eyes, so they kind of illuminate as well, which is really cool. And just in general, I'm pretty happy with the forms of the actual head. For, again, such a limited size like head, obviously if you want to add a lot of detailing, you've got to go a lot bigger. But for the limited size that I had at this scale, I think it looks like a good size and shape head. Like from this far away, it resembles a head. That's the important thing. Right, so what else do we have going on here? Obviously, we've got this magnificent tail happening. Originally, it was just coming down and then up at the very back like that in kind of a straight line. But I knew I didn't really want it like that. I wanted to make it look a little bit more organic. So once I'd done that, I decided to kind of shift it over bit by bit, and then I ended up deform rotating it as well. So it's kind of on this angle. And just in doing that, even just for the back half of it, it looks so much better. Like, it gives it a little bit more of a character and makes it look more organic rather than just making it look very straight and like in form and symmetrical. That's a big thing actually when you're doing like organic people like this, especially people. It's so important to make it asymmetrical, and obviously it's Minecraft, so you can't do a lot with it because it's just blocks. But things like this where you offset stuff and make it go one side rather than just having it completely mirrored in the middle, it looks so much better. So one of the hardest bits that I had trouble with was probably the arms and the hands, to be honest. They're always an issue, especially like when you're doing hands in Minecraft. It's just not a thing. You really can't do it properly. But I think I was able to get it looking okay. Like you can see here, he's basically got 1, 2 fingers and a thumb, but we're going for proportion wise of his body. Like if I added more fingers, his hand would be huge. So based on the proportion of the rest of his body, I think we're gonna have to just deal with it. So yes, he's gonna have a bit of a gimp hand, but he still looks pretty swole. Yeah, honestly, I'm really happy with how it looks. Obviously, I spent the longest time working on this one, so it's gonna look a little bit better, but the main thing that I wanted to focus on was getting the forms right, because if you don't get them right, when you're building a human-like thing in Minecraft, it just looks really weird. But I think it came out looking alright, and Neptune is looking pretty strong. Beefy old Neptune here. I also didn't realize I kind of based it on the Neptune from SpongeBob. He's kind of got the same thing going on with the ginger hair. I was thinking about doing it with white hair, but I kind of just did ginger, and I kind of just stuck with it. As well as I wanted to make something out of the red sandstone block, because I've never really used that properly. But that's Neptune done, and that's the expert tier build done. What do you guys think of this conduit design? Yes, this is a conduit. The conduit is in here. This whole thing just to house that little cube. He's on his little plinth here, and we've surrounded it with water inside his chest, so it still works underneath the water. Which out of the 3 designs was your favorite, and which one are you more likely to build? Do you think you're going to go this far to build a conduit design? Do you think you would build the simple and sleek basic design, maybe make things a little bit more interesting with the skull? Or are you going to be a complete nutcase and make Neptune? Whatever it is, let me know down below, and let me know which out of the 3 you think is your favorite. So in the last episode of this, I asked for 8,000 likes and I would release the world download to the public for free. So if you want this updated version with the expert tier Neptune conduit design involved, then let's see if we can get this video to 9,000 likes. If you can get this to 9,000 likes, I'll release it for free on my Patreon. I know that you guys can do that. That's achievable. That's doable. 9,000 likes and I'll release this for free on my Patreon. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Again, if you are new around here and you're not subscribed, then make sure you subscribe. Let's try and get that statistic up a little bit higher so that the majority of you guys are actually watching my videos are subscribed. And obviously, if you like what I do here and you want to see more, then you might as well stick around. But like I said, it's free to unsubscribe, so you can do it at any point. I'm not holding you accountable. You do what you want, but if you enjoy my content, then give it a try. Anyway, we're all done here, so I will see you guys in the next video.